guys, it's Miss Matthews. I miss you all terribly so much. But we in the 4th grade team have decided to read you some stories that we love to read ourselves. So I'm here first reading you a story called Katy's Last Minute Book Report by Sasha Griffin and illustrated by Tom LeBeouf. Okay, so before I read it, I want you to think about the theme of the story or the main idea of the story. It's going to be kind of obvious, but I still want you to think about it so we can still use our literacy skills that Miss McQuarrie taught us, okay? So, Katy's Last Minute Book Report. Okay. It was Monday afternoon and almost time to go home. Mr. Hayes pointed to the assignment on the board. Katy read, "Book reports due Monday." Our monthly book share will be next Monday, Mr. Hayes reminded them. Sharing your interesting reports and colorful posters is a great way for us to learn about books that are new to us. Your reports will encourage us to read those books. Katy walked home with her friend Pam. "What book are you going to write about?" Pam asked. "I don't know," said Katy. "Have you started yet?" Pam looked surprised. "I'm already finished reading mine." "We still have a whole week," Katy said. "There's plenty of time." At that moment, the girls were in front of the library. "There's the library," said Pam. "Maybe you should look for a book." "That's a good idea," replied Katy. Inside the library, Katy found a book about horses. "That looks good," said Pam. "I think it does too." Katy agreed. "I'm going to check it out. I'll start reading it tonight, after soccer practice." But Katy was too tired to read after soccer practice. "I'll start the book tomorrow," she told herself firmly. Tuesday came, and Katy watched TV for a few hours after school. Then after dinner, she worked on her coin collection until bedtime. She loved her shiny coins. "It's too late to read now," Katy decided. "Tomorrow, I'll start it for sure." "Do you want to come over?" Katy asked Pam after school on Wednesday. They were both walking home. Pam shook her head. "I have to work on my book report. Are you liking your book about horses?" "I'm going to start it today," Katy said. "Boy, you always leave things until the last minute," Pam exclaimed. "It's not the last minute," Katy told her. "I still have 4 whole days left." When Katy arrived home, her mom was waiting for her. "Your room is an enormous mess," she scolded. "Things are scattered everywhere. Please clean it up." "But I have to read my book," Katy answered. "Your room comes first," Mom said. It took Katy hours to put her stuff away. By the time she was done, she was too tired to read, so Katy put off starting her book until Thursday. Katy finally began reading her book on Thursday. It wasn't easy. The book had so much new information that Katy had to strain to understand it. By bedtime, she had only read a few pages. On Friday night, Katy's brother asked, "Aren't you going to watch a video with us? It's your turn to choose." "I can't," said Katy. "I have to read." Katy ate breakfast Saturday morning. Then she went right back to her room to read her horse book. "At least I have the whole weekend," she thought. There was a knock on her door. "Do you realize you have a soccer game in a half an hour?" Dad asked. "Oh no," wailed Katy. She quickly put on her uniform and grabbed her book. "I have to read it in the car." Katy did not enjoy the game. She was worried about finishing her book. She even tried reading it during halftime, but it was too hard to concentrate. Who wants to go out for ice cream? She asked the coach after the game. We do, shouted everyone but Katy. I wish I could, Katy said, but I have a book report to do. That's too bad, asked the coach. We'll miss you. Almost forgot the pictures. Katy read for the rest of Saturday. She had just started the last chapter when the phone rang. It was Pam. We're going out for pizza and a movie, Pam said. Can you come? I can't, Katy groaned. I still have to work on my book report. I wish I had started earlier, like you. Katy finally finished her book Saturday night. She thought about everything she would have to do the next day to finish her report on time. She had the report to write, and she also had the poster to do. I don't even know if I have poster paper, Katy worried. Why did I wait until the last minute to do it? Katy began writing her book report on Sunday, and by lunchtime, she had finished. That afternoon, Katy looked for her poster paper, but she had none. She taped 2 pieces of lined paper together and drew with her crummy old crayons. This looks awful, Katy complained to her mom. I don't want to turn it in. I think this project has taught you an important lesson, her mom said. During Bookshare on Monday, Katy explained some interesting facts about horses. She answered a few questions, too. At the end of the day, Mr. Hayes reminded his students, your descriptive paragraphs are due on Friday. As Katy and Pam walked home, Katy said, let's go to my house and work on our paragraphs. I am not leaving anything until the last minute ever again. The end. Here's the last pictures. All right, so now I want you to answer the questions I had earlier. So what is the main idea of the story? And what is the theme of the story? So what is the lesson that you learned in the story? So let's think back and let's think about what Katy did throughout the story and how she kind of pushed off her book report until the last minute. And then she got all frustrated and she couldn't do anything. She couldn't go out for pizza. She couldn't watch her video with her family because she waited to do her book report until the last minute. So I think that's the lesson that I learned in the story, is that you shouldn't wait until the last minute to do anything. And I know I have that problem too. It's called procrastination. So procrastination is when you push things off until the last minute, and I definitely procrastinate. You know, I get distracted by people, I get distracted by my boyfriend, by everything, by food, everything. I get distracted. So I learned in this book that you cannot push anything off to the last minute. So I hope you had a great time listening as I did reading, and I miss you all so much, and I love you all, and I hope to see you so soon. All right, bye 4th grade.